Hey guys, today I want to talk about kidney issues. Lately I've been having a few issues that I've noticed. I've noticed that I've had to go to the bathroom a lot more, things like that. And I was wondering what was causing it, maybe like a UTI. These things are common in the Philippines, UTIs. You tend to get more sick more with kidney infections. And as we get older also, things tend to happen where you have kidney stones or what have you. Be really careful and wary about this. And here's another thing is we also take a lot more medications, and a lot of those medications cause creatinine levels, where the creatinine levels raise up and they go high and they go off the charts. They tend to go really, really high. Be aware of that when you're out taking all kinds of medicines, seeing your doctor and stuff like that. Check with your doctor. Make sure that those medications that you're taking are safe on the kidney. A lot of medications aren't. Be careful and check to see if it's going to raise your creatinine levels. My creatinine levels were getting kind of high. I was getting a little bit worried. So luckily I went to get checked. Usually my creatinine levels were really, really good. When I went to the VA, they were low, they were normal, they were actually really low, and I was in a good spot. But I went to get checked at the local doctor here and found out that my creatinine levels were off the charts. They're way above the safe level of like 1.4. I was up around 1.6, 1.7. I actually got it checked twice. And after I got it checked, I was like, I got some issues here I got to deal with. And I started looking up my medicines. And I'm always really wary about my medicines anyway. I really pay attention to my meds because you have to. Let's face it, we're getting older. You have to worry about your kidneys. You have to worry about everything. You have to worry about everything as you age. Salt, proteins, things like that. A lot of guys think that they can just drink, alcohol all the time and eat all kinds of beef and stuff and you'll be okay. And I also noticed some of the guys coming over here, they're going on these protein diets that are really bad for your creatinine levels, and they can raise your creatinine levels off the charts and do damage to your kidneys. So be very careful about that. Also your liver, be wary. I see guys all the time with edema. They have edema. It's like swelling of the ankles, or it could be other things too. Be very wary of that, because if you do not pay attention to that, your kidneys can have all kinds of massive repercussions because of that, because of the fact that you're not paying attention to stuff. Pay attention to your kidneys, guys. Pay attention to salty foods, soups. Pay attention to sodas, things like that. I'm one that drinks a lot of Coke. Okay, and Coke is not good for you. No sodas are good for you. Excuse me, guys. And that can also raise things and do damage to your kidneys. It can do all kinds of stuff. It can cause kidney stones, which can also raise your creatinine levels. So be extra, extra wary about this stuff all the time, because of the fact that if your kidney goes, you got dialysis to look forward to. Nobody wants to have dialysis. Let's face it. It's dangerous to not pay attention to your kidney issues. And I was lucky I caught mine early. I went to the doctor. The doctor put me on some sort of medications and vitamins and some other, I'm trying to remember what they were. Anyway, she put me on these medications, and now I'm getting better. And I just recently had my proteins checked in my urine, because we were checking for that for something else, because I thought that I had a UTI or something like that, and maybe the UTI was raising my creatinine levels. Come to find out, it was baclofen. We think it was baclofen or acetaminophen that was raising my creatinine levels. Be careful and mindful of your medications, because your medications can do more damage to you. They might be killing your pain off and helping you with your pain, but guess what? In the end, they might be doing more damage to you. Pay attention to those signs. It could be excessive urination at night. That could also be your prostate. Pay attention to these things. A lot of guys come over here, they just don't get checkups as often. They don't care about their health as often. They figure, hey, I'm sitting in God's waiting room anyway. I don't really care. Hey, a couple changes to your diet can fix all that stuff. Let's face it. A couple changes to your diet can do wonders. The doctor took me off all my meds temporarily, and we're going to put the meds back on slowly without the baclofen, probably without the acetaminophen. Those two things alone can do kidney damage. plus Coca-Cola, things like that also. But I'm sure I can get my kidneys back in line probably within a month. I think my kidneys will be back in line fairly fast with just those few minor changes. Everything will start getting better. But for you guys out there, when you're here, it's cheap money for you to go to your local doctor. I'm not talking at a hospital. I'm talking use one, a doctor that the locals use. It cost me literally 300 pesos to go in to see my doctor down the street here. She's phenomenal. She's a wonderful doctor. She knows what she's doing. Even the tests down there are cheap. You can also get these cards. There's all kinds of cards with different names, Maxicare, Medicard, stuff like that. All these different named cards that you can get. I think you pay $100 per year. Most of these places accept that. It pays for your doctor. It pays for your blood tests and urine tests. Why wouldn't you do that? So also pays for x-rays and stuff too. They're cheap. Because a lot of people, they buy the card, they don't get sick during the year, they don't use it, so that's how they end up paying for yours. Maybe out of 10 people, maybe 5 people go in and use their card each year. That's how this system works. And over here, things are so cheap. That's a good thing about medical care over here. A lot of things that we would go in to get checked up on back home would probably cost us like $600 or $700 to get treated over the course of time for something like a kidney issue or something like that. They'd tell you to go see a specialist. They tell you to go do this and go do that. Over here, usually your medical doctor kind of deals with that on their own level, and usually they take care of it pretty well. I've noticed my doctor does not send me to specialists unless it's really needed, and she's helped me a lot to cure things and take care of things, and she's taken care of our expats phenomenally. You know, she's just a phenomenal doctor. And also when you go into the doctors at the like De La Salle University Hospital, they're great there. They're not as reasonable. They're not as reasonable as the regular doctors, you know, in town here, because they have the rents are higher or whatever, but they're still fairly reasonable. It's almost like paying a co-payment back in the States. That's what it's like paying, okay? But if they send you down to do x-rays or urine tests in the hospital, you pay a little bit more. But you know, you can also go to places like I said, this place here, and you can get all those same tests done there, and it'll save you a few bucks sometimes. But then you got travel expenses and things like that. So weigh out your costs. If there's a place around the corner from the hospital, you can go get blood tests done and have it done there, and it's cheaper than what the hospital is charging, go around the corner if it's just a walk away. You know, but for most of us expats, we can afford to pay that little bit extra. It's not that much. You know, but be careful, guys. Be aware of things. I wanted to warn you guys about this, about excessive medications today, because those excessive medications can wreak havoc on your system. Be careful and see if you can get yourself healthy. Me, I'm starting to cut back on Coke. I'm cutting back on meat more, red meats. I'm cutting back on a lot of different things, especially the soda. I'm watching the meds I'm taking more. I actually still, I feel a little bit better. My pain is a little bit off, but if I get out and walk in the afternoons, it takes me 2 to 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours to be able to get up on my feet sometimes. So I could be up at 8 a.m. in the morning and I'm not really out of the house till 12, because the first 4 hours of the day I'm kind of almost bedridden or housebound because of my pain from my back and running down my legs from the sciatica. But even when I took my medications, some days I could get out, some days I couldn't, you know, because it depended on how much pain I had down my back. And sometimes you'd be tempted to take a little bit of extra medication, but most of the time I'd fight it off and just say, you know what, I'll just stay home today. I'll just do that. Don't ever take that extra medication, even though unless you got something you really need to do or something like that. And if your doctor says it's okay to do that, don't do it because of your kidneys and of your liver. Take care of your kidneys and your liver. Drink a lot of liquids to flush all that garbage out. Take some herbs that are good for your kidneys. Take chamomile tea, also good for your creatinine levels. If you guys have high creatinine levels, you have edema, chamomile tea, green tea, things like that are good for you. And you can read up on those online too. There's there's a wealth of information out there on the internet that you can look up, guys. Be careful, and God bless on stuff like that, you know. But remember, stay close to your doctor. And stay on top of your health issues. Always stay on top of your health issues. If you don't stay on top of your health, what have you got left? Once you lose your health, you've lost everything. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care, and take care of yourselves, guys. And also keep this in mind that we also have an expat dinner coming up on the 30th of October at 1:30 p.m. at Evian Mall at Texas Roadhouse, if any of you guys are interested. God bless, guys.